This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not.
But so speaking of football,
Speaking of
Super Bowls, playoffs, we are getting into that time of year where it's playoff time.
Can smell
And
it.
this week has
Can smell it.
This week I know. This week doesn't have a lot of big games. But the games that we do have are big. And we're going to discuss those games here right now. We'll get the rest of the picks out when we give our picks, because of course. But the big three. First, we're going to start in the AFC because we only have one really in the AFC. And then we have two in the NFC. So the first one, AFC, of course, for the order. AFC. No.
We're going to go.
We can go in order if you.
No,
I was just going to go. We can.
I thought. I mean, especially if we start Panthers Bucks, like I feel like.
You're right. You're right.
I feel like if we're going to talk about one first, let's get that slop out the way. And it's not slop. But kind of is slop.
Yeah. No, you're right, Kyle.
It could be a good game, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it ended like 6-7. So Panthers Bucks. Where is this game being played? Give me the line and all that.
In Tampa.
In Tampa.
So
Tampa's favored by 3.5. Is that true? Or 3?
2.5 right now.
2.5 now.
So there's books that are 2.5, some that are 3. So roughly around 2.5 to 3, depending on where you get it. But overall, this game, I'm gonna just say it right now. I'm going with the Panthers.
Very interesting.
The Bucks. As a guy who had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers representing the Super Bowl, I felt great after 8 weeks. Baker Mayfield for MVP. It felt great after 8 weeks. I was happy about it, and I thought, okay, we've got something. We're good. No, they in a game that they needed against the Dolphins and Quinn Ewers, they couldn't. There's no reason for me to believe that this team can win a game like this. I just don't know how I'm supposed to believe that they've lost. They've since losing they lost to Detroit. They beat the Saints. It's been lost to New England, lost to Buffalo, lost to the Rams, a win barely against Arizona, lost to New Orleans, lost to Atlanta, lost to Carolina, lost to Miami.
7 of their last 8.
Well, 7 of their last 8. And I understand they're division opponents, but you can't just be losing all of these games and me have confidence in you. As where the Panthers, I know they didn't play well last week, but the Panthers have looked like the better team this year. They've lost some games, and they've lost in some blowout fashions, like to the Bills or to the Seahawks, to the Patriots, but those are to the Jags. Those are 4 of the 8 best teams in the league that they've lost in blowout fashion to. And then they beat Tampa, beat the Rams, beat the Falcons, beat the Packers. They beat the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Jets. And within that, they also lost to the Saints, like the Saints twice. Saints have been playing. Honestly, they've been arguably the best team in the NFC South. And then they also the teams that I looked at the Jags. The teams that the Panthers have lost to, other than the Saints and the Cardinals, and the Saints actually haven't been playing bad, are all good teams. So I got the Panthers in this one, and I got the Panthers winning this game 24-21 to host a playoff game this year.
The reason why I'm shocked by your pick, Keenan, is because 2 weeks ago, I presented this exact scenario and said, hey, if they're playing for the division, the Bucks haven't looked great. And I was like, there's still 2 games here. I'm like, you said you felt better about the Bucks. I said I feel a little bit better about the Panthers. And I said, hey, if we get to a situation where they have near or around the same record and they're playing for the division in week 18, you said the Bucks. So I'm very interested to see you flip.
I did. And the reason why was I expected if they had the same record that it would be because the Saints, the Bucks won against the Panthers and the Dolphins, and the Panthers possibly won again. And like they were to the point where the Bucks would be in the win and we're in, not the win and we need Atlanta to lose and other things to happen.
Well, so to be fair, the Atlanta thing's only because they beat the Rams, which is pretty shocking.
No, I understand that. Like that's kind of not fully factored in, but it's just the fact that they're not even in full control, and it's because they've lost these games. And losing to the Dolphins really just, I guess, I hated that loss. That was like, you need the game, and I get that you're at the Dolphins, but you're still in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, you need that. Like, that's a game you have to win, and that was what happened to Quinn Ewers. Like, I love Texas, but Quinn, really?
I'm still shocked you flipped. And Quinn Ewers, he's been all right. He's looking like
he's been
okay
fine.
backup.
He's been
looking like an okay
he's been
backup.
Fine. He's not Baker Mayfield.
I don't even know if Baker Mayfield's Baker Mayfield at this point. He's looking more like the Cleveland Browns, Carolina Panthers version of Baker Mayfield now.
He's got that shoulder injury, and the last time he had that shoulder injury in Cleveland, he played terribly, and then that led to him no longer being on the team. He's playing through a shoulder injury again, and
two things, Keenan. I'm going to sound batshit crazy when I say this. Legitimately just had deja vu. I feel like I dreamt about the last 30 seconds when you were just explaining this, and that we were doing a podcast about Carolina, Tampa for the division. I feel like I've seen this before. Truly, I swear I had a dream about this. But to what you said, the one thing I'll give Baker Mayfield, if you look at the box score, he didn't have many incompletions this past week, aside from the 2 picks he had. He racked up the yardage. What's surprising me, Keenan, the most about their offense and the most about Baker, they've got all their weapons now. They've gotten healthier, which is what we said all year is like, okay, they're playing this well while banged up. Imagine when they get their weapons. They've got their weapons, and he doesn't seem to be spreading the wealth. Now it's a lot more of Chris Godwin than Ibuka. Ibuka's gone quiet. I mean, we talked about this the other night. He should have ran away with Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he's not even gonna get it. He's not even gonna be really in contention.
He might not be a top 3 finisher.
That's insane to me. He was a lights out rookie the first 8 weeks, seemingly. And you would figure with Godwin and Mike Evans now coming back, that would open up things for everybody. You already have 2 quality backs in Bucky Irving and Rashad White, and still nothing seems to be gelling. And Todd Bowles is going to take the blame for this, and he's going to take the fall for this, as he definitely should. But I don't know how we can come away from this season, especially if they lose. I don't know how we can come away from the season and not have some sort of blame or some sort of question mark around Baker Mayfield. I get that he's hurt. I get that
you have to.
I get that his shoulder has issues, but to lose 7 of your last 8 and to at least somewhat be putting up some stats, like he's still getting the ball downfield. Like he's still throwing the ball with zip. Again, like Godwin's getting the ball. Like Godwin's been producing over the last few weeks. So he's able to do it. And it's not, again, completely on him. This defense deserves some blame too. The collapse as a whole is pretty shocking because that team, they've kind of limped into the playoffs in general these last 2 years, but have made compelling cases in the playoffs, have competed against real contenders in the playoffs. Even as early as this year, has competed with contenders like in the regular season. Those first 6-7 weeks, they look great. And then it's been a complete fall off. So I don't understand it. It makes you wonder what it'll look like if they do win this game. I don't think they deserve to win this game. If they were to win it, though, could they turn it on in the playoffs? I doubt it. I'm going with the Panthers as well, Keenan. That was a very long-winded way of saying that. 21-17, I'm going with the Panthers. I think it will at least be a good game. It'll be a compelling game. The one thing I'll give the Panthers, as you said, Keenan, they've beaten real teams.
Yes.
Don't look at the stat line with Bryce Young is what I would tell people. The stat line's going to always be ugly. I think he threw for 55 yards, maybe 54 yards this past week. Like, did nothing, but he truly looked poised in the pocket. His team truly seems to believe in him. His coach believes in him. They think they can win with him. He makes the plays at the right time, as cliche as that sounds. He really does make plays when it matters. Again, don't look at the stats. Baker's probably going to have better stats, but when it matters, Bryce Young will probably make the plays. He might have 86 yards doing it, but he will throw for the touchdown that matters. He will throw for the first down that matters. He will scramble. He's used his legs a lot this year. That looks great. It's an added component. He will scramble for the first down that matters. So 21-17. And you know what? By the way, Keenan, as I'm saying this, it's kind of like, are we really going to believe the Panthers in a playoff situation this is the kind of the point where you can kind of say, all right, we've at least seen Baker and Todd Bowles in this situation before. They are
100%.
They are favored in this game. They are home in this game. All they've got to do, and as we just mentioned, Keenan, 7 out of their last 8, they're kind of due for a win. I mean, you can kind of
they should win this game.
We can kind of talk ourselves into Tampa. We can kind of talk ourselves into Tampa here.
They should win this game. Like, I'm not even stupid. Like, they should win this game. They are at home. They are the more experienced team. They've been in this situation before. You've got a good coach. Not that they don't have a good coach on the other side, but you got a good coach. You've got a quarterback who is good. You've got a Super Bowl winning. You've got guys who've won a Super Bowl. Like, you've got those kind of guys on. Like, this should be nothing. I mean, not the nothing, but you know what I mean? Like, this is not the biggest game that they've played in. This is the biggest game Bryce Young has played in. This is, unless you want to count like a national, like playing in the playoffs, so like biggest NFL game, let me say, he's played in. So, like, they should win this game. I think they don't deserve to be.
I'm going with the hotter team, and I've planned on going with them for probably 2 or 3 weeks. Like we said, like 2 weeks ago, we were, like Tim said, we were all on the Bucs. Like, you and Brandon 100%. Were the biggest on the Bucs. Like, Keenan, you were the number one person who was on the whole Baker MVP, Tampa to win the Super Bowl. Like, and you heard other people in the media or in the, football sphere, NFL sphere, start saying that after 4 or 5, 6 weeks, right? And I think we all believe it. Like, they're at least at the very least, they were a overqualified sleeper, or the most qualified sleeper, and they've completely fallen off. That being said, the more I'm talking about it, I'm like, now it seems ripe for them to win. Because we do this all the time, Keen. This happens every postseason where someone will not limp into the playoffs, but maybe they won't look the same. And then when it comes down to it, you want to pick against them, and you're like, am I really going to pick against them? Tampa doesn't deserve all that respect. So, again, I'm sticking with the Panthers here, but I would not be surprised, Keen, if we're back here on Monday or Tuesday of next week talking about Tampa won 34-17. We got Tampa facing whoever. We got to talk about them again, and they actually look good. Wow, who would have thought? And we're sitting there doing this whole damn.
And then you're going to be like, how much of an upset alert are they on? Like, that's exactly what the conversation is going to be. And we're not going to talk about this game next because we're going order, but it kind of mimics the same thing as Steelers Ravens to me. When it comes to that one, but I'll say more about that when we get there. Next, we'll go with Seattle going to San Francisco. San Francisco's +1.5 in this game. They're underdogs. You've got, this is for the 1 seed. This is for the NFC West. This is for a lot, because San Francisco has the ability, if they win this game, to never leave again, to just be there until the Super Bowl and through the Super Bowl. And then Seattle goes to the 5 seed, and then they might be heading to Tampa, as we just talked about. And it could be deja vu all over again for Sam Darnold. We have a win and you're the 1 seed kind of game, lose and you're the 5th seed going on the road for the playoffs, and you put yourself in a situation where you have to play well. So this game is really you don't get a chance usually to always resurrect things and kind of get a do-over. And obviously it's not the exact same situation, but this is as close to a do-over as you're going to get from when you talk about the Lions and Vikings last year to this year, Seattle and San Francisco for Sam Darnold. You get we win this game, I play well, we get what we need, 1 seed, we're guaranteed the divisional round, and we're 1 win away from an NFC championship game. That being said, I like the 49ers in this game. And it has nothing to do with Sam Darnold, actually. It doesn't have to do with, I think Sam Darnold's going to play terrible, because I don't think he's going to play terrible. I think he's going to play fine. I just really like how the San Francisco offense is playing right now. They're playing so well. Brock Purdy's playing elite level quarterbacking over the last month, but he's been great. Christian McCaffrey is, to me, the offensive player of the year right now. If you want to say Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nakua, whatever, you could, but I just think that there's going to be enough, and I get why you'd go with the Seahawks, and maybe you will. I just think that the 49ers are hot right now, and I'm leaning them in this game. And that's just them at home. I'm leaning them in this game. But you can give me the case for the Seahawks if you have the Seahawks, and I don't think you're stupid for it. I just am leaning the 49ers in this game. I think it's going to be interesting on both fronts.
This game made me. I want to throw something at you real quick.
Yeah.
The last time these two teams played each other was week 1. So it's week 1, week 18. Yeah. It made me wonder yesterday. I was thinking as I was driving, what if we did, how would you feel about this? If we did divisional games October, November, December, like 2 a month for each team, how would you feel about that? Do you like the way it is as it's randomized? Because week 1 and week 18 seems insane. Both teams are completely different teams than they were in week 1. And that's not a bad thing. Like the season's the season. That happens in all sports, I'm sure. Definitely happens in the NBA where maybe you play someone in November and you play someone in March. Or even in the MLB, I'm sure it gets kind of wild. But week 1 and you can't get 2 more different teams than that. And maybe it doesn't matter because it's for the division. But how would you feel if it was like 6 divisional games dispersed through those 3 middle months there in October, November, and December?
It'd make more sense because you'd get a grasp of like what these teams are. Like I'm just gonna do a little cross sport comparison. Like the Spurs have played the Thunder 3 times. Obviously, one was in a cup game, but they play them on the 12th of January.
They play them
so
again.
Like they play them. They play them again on the 13th of January.
That's very wild.
Yeah, so like all within this short stint, and then you're gonna go the rest of the year, and they might see each other one more time. And it's going to be like way later. So like these two teams could be vastly different. It could be a trade that happens, injury, whatever the case may be. So I actually wouldn't mind that because obviously in the NFL, just a one sport right now that divisions really matter. Obviously in NBA divisions like don't really matter, obviously, because it's just all in the conference. And then now college football divisions don't really matter because everything's together. So like NFL's like divisions still really much matter.
Very much.
And so I wouldn't mind if you split it like Rams 49. I'm just from a Seahawks perspective. Rams 49ers in October, then Rams 49ers in December, and then in like, or maybe like whatever, 1 November, 1 December, whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily think the way we got it right now is bad either, but it does seem weird sometimes. Like this year, we had Eagles Cowboys week 1, and we had Chargers Chiefs week 1. And I think we had an AFC South matchup that was week 1 as well. And obviously this one that we're talking about, I don't want to call it a disadvantage because, I mean, you get what you get in the NFL. You earn your record in the NFL one way or another. And it's not even about being fair necessarily. I just wonder, as a product, would it be better if we disperse the divisional games that way, October, November, December, and then
the
September?
Chargers had 3 straight divisional games to start the year, and obviously they won them all, which at the time felt important, but even more important now, like the more you think about it, because it was like, okay, now if they have a tiebreaker with someone, they usually are going to get the division record because of the fact that they had these 3 games super early in the season that happened. So, yeah, it's weird. Like, it's weird when a week 1 game decides a week 18 outcome. And obviously it should because, like, every game is every game, and I'm not saying, like, it doesn't matter, but, like, a week 1 game decides a week 18 outcome within the division because of tiebreakers and things. It's just interesting.
Yeah, so this game, partly because of that reason, because of the week 1 matchup, is fascinating to me. Because, like, obviously you do more game film and more prep for your divisional opponents than ever. Yeah. And each team will be able to prepare for this like a playoff game, not only because of the stakes, but because you haven't seen them since week 1, and you're gonna have the whole season of tape to go through. So that's interesting for me. The biggest matchup for me is the 49ers defense versus the Seahawks offense in this game.
Yeah.
Reason being, as I've mentioned, we know the 49ers are banged up and have been banged up. And I think I mentioned this on last week's podcast, or maybe just the one we did a couple days ago. Though they're depleted, the way Robert Saleh has them playing is inspiring. They play with so much energy on defense, despite the talent discrepancy. They don't just roll over. That being said, you can run the ball on them. You can get yardage on them. You can do nearly whatever you want with them. But you're liable to throw a pick. You're liable to turn the ball over. Like, they play with enough energy to where they can turn you over. So that's going to be the thing I look for most in this game. Because you're right, Keenan. The 49ers offense is as hot as can be right now. They are as hot as can be. And the difference with that is the Seahawks defense can turn you over. They're hard hitting. They're a legitimately tough defense to play on. So when I look at this game, I believe the Seahawks are the better team. I'm going to pick the Seahawks. It seems like the Niners are due for a loss. But I do wonder, it's like, okay, if they turn Darnold over once, what does that look like? Does he start to get shaky? Does he start you know what I mean? Can Darnold keep up with Brock Purdy if they're down, 7-0 and then it turns to 10-0 after a pick or something like that? Can Darnold really turn the tide? I think so. And then the Niners won week 1, so maybe the Seahawks get their split here. That's kind of how I feel about it. I get it in a real playoff situation. If this was even maybe more so for like the Bucks, Panthers, or the Ravens, Steelers, if this is more of that situation, maybe I roll with the Niners here. They do get the added stakes, as you said, to where if they do win, they never have to leave San Francisco, hypothetically. So that's the other part of it, which makes me think, all right, maybe Shanahan's is going to go for broke here. Maybe he will go for broke, try to step on the throats, and then, really go for it. But I don't know. I think these are two even teams, and I would have to lean Seattle. And I actually think Seattle's the more complete team. They're even as far as, if you weigh it with playoff experience, or if you weigh it with how Sam Darnold, as you've said before, plays in big games, then it becomes more of an even game. But overall, I do think the Seahawks are the better team. Will that be the case in the playoffs? Who knows? Because I do think San Francisco is not afraid of winning anywhere. But for this game, for intensive purposes, I'm going to pick the Seahawks. Let's call it 24-23.
24-23. Okay. I think the lower the scoring game, the more I favor the 49ers, though obviously the Seahawks just won a couple weeks back a 38-37 game. So it's not like they can't win those games. It's just I would favor that a little more. And then the last game, we've got Baltimore going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 3.5 point underdogs in this one. I have 21-19 written down.
Okay.
I have Pittsburgh on one side and Baltimore on the other. I don't really know yet. And here's why. Going in, obviously, what is Lamar going to look like? Has Lamar going to look like the guy who's been injured for most of the season, or is he going to look healthy?
Because it sounds like he's going to play, right?
Because it does sound like he's going to play. Yes. So it sounds like he's going to play, but how healthy is he going to look? Is he going to be able to run, move, and actually be Lamar Jackson, or is he going to just be the kind of pocket guy that he's been that hasn't been as effective? That's one. Two, with Lamar back, are they going to now again run Derrick Henry 36 times in a game, or are they going to be like, we have Lamar Jackson, now we only need to run him 15 times in a game? Because that seems to be a big thing when that happened. So then on the other side, obviously there's no DK, there's no TJ Watt most likely. You just don't know how you feel about the Steelers team after coming off of a loss like that to Cleveland. But at the same time, they are at home. Rodgers has played in big moments. Obviously, some he's been great, some he hasn't been the best, but they typically split every year, and the Steelers won the first one. So, you would then want to lean the Ravens in the second one. I think I'm leaning Pittsburgh.
Interesting.
I'm going to go with them at home. And I'm going to say what I was thinking earlier. We feel like if Carolina makes the playoffs, they're not drawing dead, but they're most likely not going to win. It'd be like a really big upset. With the Steelers, we feel like if the Steelers get to the playoffs, most likely they're going to see a team like Buffalo is going to be 5 and they're going to be the 4, and they are not going to beat Buffalo. We feel like the Bucs, if they get in, we've seen it before that they can compete with high level opponents. They actually could win a game. Baltimore, we've seen it before. We've seen the defense play well. We've seen the offense play well. We haven't seen it together yet in one game this year, which is why I don't feel like they have a chance to really win a Super Bowl, because I don't think you just go from not doing it all year to just instantly doing it for 4 games in a playoff situation. But could they do it for a game? Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting. I think Baltimore has a better chance to go farther in the playoffs like Tampa, but I'm going with Pittsburgh and Carolina, because I think this year both teams have actually looked a little better than the other one because of the consistency of them, even though both teams really haven't been. The Ravens haven't been consistent either, but like that's the thing. But the Steelers haven't been consistent. So it's like one of the consistency's not really the thing. I'm just leaning Pittsburgh.
I've got to disagree with Pittsburgh's look better. I think they've been the Ravens at 2 weeks ago they had a worse record technically than the Steelers, and even right now might have a worse record. So like
they have had a worse record for like majority of the season.
Right? So if you go by that, yeah,
Actually,
the Steelers have looked better, but on field product, the Ravens a lot of the time look like a winning team. They just cannot close these games. Harbaugh's game plan is pretty flawed, and that's really what it's going to come down to for me. If he can stick to the bread and butter they did last week with Derrick Henry running the ball, it almost doesn't even matter if it's Lamar or Tyler Huntley, starting in this game. I feel like they could have been winning games like this the last 6 to 8 weeks because Lamar's going to be banged up. We've seen he hasn't been right since he's came back from the hammy. Some docs even said that he could come back and play, but he probably won't have the burst that he had previously. So, Lamar's probably going to look like what he looked like 3 weeks ago still. And he was coming along a little bit. Like, he looks a little better in the pocket, whatever. But to me, if you're going to run the ball with Derrick Henry, we know the line can block. We've seen it time and again this year with Derrick Henry. He can just break a 70-yard run on you. Multiple 50 to 70-yard runs on you in the same game if need be. I mean, we just seen it last week against Green Bay. Pittsburgh, the same way you said about like the Bucs losing to the Dolphins this past week, the Steelers losing this game to Cleveland, to me, that was a squandered opportunity. I picked Cleveland to win this 100%. Game, but it was like, all right, the Steelers can at least look okay in that game. Maybe I'll pick them going into week 18, right? Like, I actually thought coming out of week 16, I thought I would pick the Steelers in this game.
Because like after the Lions game, they played really well in that game.
That was probably their best game. I would say the Colts game. They
looked like a legitimate team.
The Colts game at home and that Lions game, the Steelers looked good. They looked well coached. They looked cohesive. And really, they kind of still looked ugly on first and second down, but Rodgers looked like Aaron Rodgers on the third down. So you wonder if he can summon that. But the fact that you're not going to have DK Metcalf or TJ Watt, and that defense wasn't great to begin with all season, why can't the Ravens just get 14 on you? If you can get 2 touchdowns from Derrick Henry and get a few more field goals, and then maybe a passing touchdown from Lamar, to me, it's pretty hard to see the Steelers competing with that. Thing with that is I just gave you a scenario where it's like 24 points. Hard to see this matchup going to that. Primarily, we end up getting like a 20-21 game or a 21-19 game like you picked, right? So I am leaning the Ravens, though. It's very hard for me to see the Steelers win this game offensively. And it sucks because I kind of want to see the Steelers in the playoffs because I want more Aaron Rodgers. This is probably his last game, which again sucks because it seems like he has a lot of game left. To the point
he'll get the Phillip Rivers, the fact that like he'll be asked to come back next year if someone gets injured.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I could see a scenario where he retires this year and then eventually comes back to a situation like Phillip Rivers where a team needs a quarterback and he comes back week 8 because that arm hasn't lost anything. Not a damn thing. And we've seen his legs still got it. Like, he's obviously lost a step or two, but he can still escape. He can still step up in the pocket. The arm, though, nothing's lost in the arm.
Like, could you imagine just like a random scenario, say Malik Willis gets a contract this year, Jordan Love goes down for the Packers, he comes back?
That would be nuts.
Like,
holy shit, that would be nuts.
That'd be just a full circle moment. I don't hope for that because I don't wish injury on anybody. But I think Malik Willis will get a contract somewhere this year. He's played his way into it at least. I think he might get something. And if that were to happen, that would be crazy. But yeah.
Keenan, before I give my score, this just popped into my mind real quick. Maybe you saw the stat, so maybe it's ruined if you saw the stat. But can you name me the 5 quarterbacks who have won 13 games in back-to-back seasons?
I've heard it once, but let me see if I can go through. It's definitely Tom. It's definitely Peyton.
Mhm.
I think Peyton. I would say Peyton's on it. I know Sam Darnold's on it, obviously, because he's done it last year and this year.
That was yep.
I was to say
three.
that's the guy who doesn't fit in it, but I know Sam did because obviously he's 13-3. Last year was 14-3.
Mhm.
This feels like a Joe Montana thing.
Nope.
Not Joe Montana. I don't have the other two. I don't think Rodgers ever.
Rodgers did.
Oh, Rodgers did. He did 19 and 20. Actually, I think it's 2 MVP years.
And 21, 3 years in a row.
He did 3 years. Oh yeah, because they were the 1 seed pretty much every year. They lost to 49ers, lost to Tampa, and then the 5th one I don't know.
Brett Favre.
That makes sense.
So you got 4 guys who were like don't even have to think about it. They're in the Hall of Fame. And then you got Sam Darnold.
4 of the 8 best quarterbacks of all time, and then
Sam Darnold.
And Sammy D.
Keen, give me the same score as you. Just give me the Ravens, because that's probably how it's going to play out. Yeah. Though I do see a world.
I had a 23-17 written down for you. I thought you were going with that. I tried to take a
you know
guess.
What? You know what? There is a world. Give me 24-14 Ravens. Just because it's either going to be what you described or what I described. If someone wins big, I think it's going to be the Ravens.
I actually agree with you. I don't see the Steelers losing a close game.
It's going to be one of the two. Historically,
I think if the Steelers lose, it's going to be like a kind of bigger margin, and then if the Ravens lose, it's going to be really close. That's just what I'm feeling on. But
historically, this has been a rivalry that just always plays close, and they always play low scoring. What's the over under in this game? Is it like 43.5?
Oh, don't know. Let me check real quick. It's probably somewhere within that. Via DraftKings, it's 40.5.
Wow. So they're expecting a super low scoring game.
They're expecting a 21-18 game in favor of Baltimore. 21-17 to 21-18 game in favor of Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 24-14 Ravens. I haven't really looked at the seeding, but the fact that you say like if the Ravens were to win this game and we'd get Ravens Bills possibly first round, and that's most likely what we'll get because the Chargers.
It really depends on who wins and loses in this last week, because like if the Texans win, the Jags lose, which they shouldn't, to the Titans, but if the Jags actually went full Jag, they would lose, and then they would be a 6th seed. It really all depends on who wins and who loses these next games for seeding, which is why these games matter, but most teams are playing like an opponent that they're much better than, that they should be. So that's why like this game, like it doesn't matter as much. I wish the Chargers were playing everybody, because I would love for the Patriots to get to the 1 seed, but unless Trey Lance can have himself a coming out party.
Never know.
Yeah.
We've seen weirder things in
Never know. We have seen weirder things. So, but yeah, that's that. We'll have the rest of the picks out for what we obviously do, because we always do that every game. Every game's predicted from us every year. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? And great recap of 2025. Glad we talked about the sports moments. We'll have graphics coming out for some music stuff as well. But other than that,
look, we got the playoffs next Saturday. Can't wait. Right around the corner. You can smell it. So we'll have our awards next week. QB tiers next week, right?
Yep.
You will have my final edition of the NFL tiers next week as well, along with our full postseason predictions, including bold predictions. So you will have a lot of NFL content from us in the next week, heading into the playoffs. Yep. I cannot wait. It's like my second favorite time of year when it comes to the NFL. Maybe my favorite. I don't know. It's hard to decipher whether I like the preseason buildup more or the postseason buildup. Obviously, the postseason buildup's more important, but I don't know.
My favorite weekend's divisional round weekend. We typically always get a divisional round classic, or like again, the divisional round's always been the weekend for me. That, I mean, obviously you love the Super Bowl, you love the championship games because they have so much high stakes, but the divisional round is like where you look back and you see some games. Bills, Chiefs, that was the divisional round. Ravens, Patriots, the Edelman special, that was divisional round. There's a lot of games. I think Rodgers and the overtime loss against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Both overtime losses against the Cardinals, I want to say, were divisional round. One of them might have been wild card weekend, but
one of them was for sure wild
well,
card.
one of them was wild. I think the early one was wild card. The later one was divisional. But anyways, regardless, I think you get a lot of those great games in the divisional round. Not that you can't get them later on, but
maybe a hot take. Maybe it's not amongst football fans, but least favorite weekend out of the playoffs, probably Super Bowl weekend.
I actually would agree with it. It's not. I love the game, obviously, and you love everything there, but
it's more.
It's not always. It's more of an event than a game, and you don't always get a great game. Like a lot of the time, you get a pretty solid to good game, and then sometimes you get the great ones. But like
we're lucky because we've actually experienced a lot of classics over the past.
We have
15 years.
Well, I mean,
at least.
Well, I mean, 9 times out of 10, the Patriots were in them because like if the Patriots are in the game, take out the second Rams one, it's a classic game. That's it.
You go from, unfortunately, the 18-1 game on. There's not very many bad Super Bowls in that stretch.
No. Your Bucks, the Broncos and Panthers was solid, wasn't phenomenal. The Broncos and Seahawks was stunning, but it wasn't like a great game. Obviously, that was 43-8, but it was stunning because you didn't expect the Broncos with 55 touchdown Manning to do that. Other than the Patriots Rams 13-3, that was
Packers Steelers, as we talked about, was a weird one. Like you either got mediocre or you got legitimately great games the majority of the way, and then we got last year's Super Bowl, which sucked. But
lights out,
right? Yeah, we had the lights out Super Bowl. Yes, that was a classic. Ravens 49ers. We've had some really good ones. But
lights out. 49ers and the Chiefs, both games have been pretty good. Both came down to one overtime and then one fourth quarter game where you had that big bomb to Tyreek Hill. The first Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl was really good too.
That was a classic.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll talk about it more once we get closer to the Super Bowl. But on the topic, that first quarter always feels weird. It almost feels like the game doesn't really even start until either someone scores or sometimes even the second quarter. It's a weird event. But yeah, no, tons of NFL content coming next week. This was the Warner Brothas Podcast. We'll be back. Enjoy the games. Hopefully everyone had a safe New Year's Eve. Happy New Year from the Warner Brothas Podcast. Peace, y'all.